What's up, y'all? Big Ramos 009 back this week with my 30-second video. This week I'm gonna go over how I got familiar with the rapper Doechii and how a random sketch in my iPad became this full illustration. I'm gonna be sure to share some kind of tips during the video. I was going over the time lapse as I wrote this, so I didn't know what they were gonna be at the time. So let's get to the art, tips, and music. So I was just messing around one night in my iPad and was sketching in Procreate. I was trying to practice comic book style, anime, manga style characters. One of them looked like they could have been Magneto. Then I randomly drew two little loose gestures of some characters kind of standing back to back. One holding a gun and the other with a backpack on. I started to work those two characters up. Made one a guy and one a girl. One with a machete and the other with a revolver. I started to work the girl up to a certain point, but she was still just kind of a generic blank slate. I liked the leggings with the Letterman jacket. It would have been a dope look. I think that night I had the garage to myself, so I was listening to a lot of random music. Eventually I was recommended a live performance of Doechii on Stephen Colbert. I had heard one of her songs before, Alter Ego with JT, which I liked a lot, but I wasn't familiar with Doechii like that. I was more familiar with JT. So the Colbert performance was hella dope and clean, so I was pretty much sold. And she was hella fine. Then I watched the Tiny Desk performance she did, which was crazy, and she was hella cute. Again, I was sold. Then I put on the Camp Flognog performance, and it was a wrap. I hella liked it. The music, the look, everything was clean. Then I watched the video for Nissan Altima, another good song, and she looked good. Then I listened to the whole album, or mixtape, Alligator Bites, Never Heal. She's a dope artist. So during the Camp Flognog performance, I really liked her outfit. So on some spur of the moment type shit, I started making the Letterman and leggings character into Doechii, wearing the outfit from the Camp Flognog performance with the braids, the shirt and shorts and shoes. I kept the revolver in her hand because of the video for Alter Ego, where she's shooting an AK or something off of a fan boat in the swamps of Florida, where she's from. I added her name in smoke, and at that point I said fuck it and decided to make a whole alternate album cover for Alligator Bites Never Heal. I imagined Doechii standing in the middle of a swamp, walking through the water. I found some reference, threw down the horizon line, and started to block in the first layer of colors into the background. I worked those up for a minute. Then I added a brown layer as a base color for Doechii. Then I added the line art for the albino alligator and added the base color for it too. Line art and blocked in the base color for Doechii on the fan boat with the AK, and eventually I added the Grammy for Rap Album of the Year. After that I continued to work up the background. Then I worked up the base color. The base colors on the fan boat. I also worked up the alligator. Then started to work up the colors on Doechii. At first it was just base colors of the outfit and her skin and everything like that. Eventually I started adding shadows also. I continued to refine the colors and added highlights and worked up other details. After that, I worked up the smoke Doechii letters, adding a light layer so the dark side looks like it's in shadow. I added a reflection of Doechii that goes under the water. I'm not sure if it's 100% right of how that would actually work, but it feels cool. It doesn't feel hella out of place. Then I added a water layer and made the opacity lower to make it feel like Doechii's foot and a part of the alligator is underwater. Continued to work up the background. All the lily pads felt underworked, so I had to hit them up. Then the other lily pads in the background had to get worked up a little bit, but since they are supposed to be farther away, the detail in them can be less, and the vibrancy in the color should be lower. I just felt that they looked really bad compared to the front ones now, so I had to do something, just hit them up a little. Kind of feel like a broken record, but you just keep working stuff up and keep refining things. From the foreground, the midground, and the background. After all that, I signed the piece, but then I happened to be out somewhere and had some time to kill. I was at a casino, but then I added the clouds to the background since I had that time to kill. They were in the reference photo, but at first I wasn't gonna add them, but I opted to put them in. I like how they look and how they feel a lot. They make the water feel like they're being reflected in it now. The clouds were pretty much the final touch. I just cleaned up the edges of the piece and was finally done. After that, I had to save out the final product and a couple of close-up shots. I also saved out just Doechii and just the alligator and the little fan boat with Doechii on it and the white dude. Then proceeded to make this video. All in all, I really like how it turned out. I hope we get some eyes on it. Now, let's get to the final product. This one's done. What do y'all think? I really like the piece and how it all came about happening. The universe is crazy. We're really in outer space, driving spaceships, and we act like it's a normal, everyday thing. That's just crazy. But yeah, Doechii's hella tight musically and hella beautiful. Go become a fan ASAP. I'll see y'all soon, hopefully in a week instead of 2. Alright y'all, do me a favor and go subscribe to my Instagram. I'm trying to break 2,000 subscribers or followers. That should have been done hella long ago. Kiss and hug your loved ones. Alright, peace.